Hello, my dear friend. Thank you so much for tuning in, just in time to see me attempt to cut my own hair. But before we get there, let's go back to the beginning. So you may have heard about the pandemic, the virus that has left hairdressers unable to work for quite some time. People all over the world had to start cutting their own hair for the first time. And yes, I too caught a virus. Not the actual virus, but the one where you instantly and impulsively feel the need to cut your own hair. Now, there was absolutely no reason for me to cut my own hair. I hadn't been to the hairdressers in about 2 years, and I actually wanted to let my hair grow long. However, my curiosity was stronger than that desire, and so here we are. To prepare myself, I watched some YouTube videos to guide me through this dangerous venture, and the first step was to thoroughly comb my hair. If you, dear viewer, have long hair yourself, you know how annoying those knots can be. Or maybe you love tangled hair, but I was totally fed up with them, which also contributed to this questionable decision. After about 900 hours of combing, I finally managed to free my hair of those malicious knots and moved on to the next step. I sectioned my hair into 4 parts, and the hair ties have to be at the same position so that you don't end up with 4 different lengths. The front is easy enough, but the back took me a solid 5 or 6 attempts. The way I ended up doing it was just put hair ties in it and then kind of line them up. Once it felt like they were at the same length, I took a picture of it to see if it was alright. At this point, it was time to start cutting. I tried to point cut my hair from the start, as Brad Mondo instructed me to do. But I probably wasn't doing it right, because, well, it took me ages. Like, I could have easily read 4 books in that time. Forget that, I could have easily written 4 books in that time. I obviously didn't do that, and instead I persevered and cut my hair until it resembled an acrylic paintbrush. Anyway, when I was satisfied with the first part, I moved on to the other parts, which took me about the same amount of time. You would think that I'd get better at it as time progressed, however, nothing could be further from the truth. By the time I had 4 paintbrushes hanging from my head, I had seen the sun rise and set about 4 times. The sad part is that it wasn't even straight when I took out the hair ties, as you will witness in just a few seconds. Also, the cutting method that I used absolutely showered me in tiny hairs, so there's no doubt in my mind that I'll be itchy for the next 2 weeks. We have arrived at the first grand reveal. I took out the hair ties and realized this is not looking good. Even though I tried my best to perfect the first steps so that I wouldn't end up with uneven hair, it didn't do much, as you can see, and it looked like I cut my hair using a pocket knife. So I put half of my hair up and tried to fix it a little bit and tried to cut it a bit more straight. This process was, apart from time-consuming, quite scary because there was no longer a hair tie to guide me. At this point, it was all a matter of hoping for the best. Luckily, my hair was slowly starting to look a little better than before. I first cut off all the longer ends straight, and then to create a softer look, I tried to point cut to the best of my abilities. I repeated the same process on the top layers of my hair until it was all sort of at the same length. Once I had done all that, I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, okay, it's not going to get any better than this. I took a shower, washed away about 1,000,000 tiny hairs, and changed into clothes that didn't make me feel like a shedding cat. So this is how it turned out. It's still a bit uneven here and there, but I do like the length. Also, from the back it looks like I have layers. I don't really know what that is about, but let's just pretend that was a plan all along. It's definitely not the best haircut I've ever had. To be completely honest, it's probably my worst. Still, I highly enjoyed the experience, and I'm most certainly planning to do it again in the future.
You should see how much hair I cut off. Look at this.
Yes, that is a lot of hair. It felt a little wasteful to throw away perfectly good hair, and the idea to keep it in order to make a tiny handbag tempted me for a bit. But then I remembered how long it took me to cut my hair, and I wasn't about to spend another 21 hours knitting. On top of that, I'd be very alarmed if I saw someone with a bag made of human hair, so I just threw it in the bin. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and or subscribing, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!